We have never had it so good in the tabletop wargaming hobby space. There are countless systems, rule sets, and miniature ranges to choose from. Even for a seasoned veteran like myself, the choice out there can be intimidating, and for someone looking at getting into the hobby, it must be daunting indeed. So, with that in mind, I have shortlisted some great starter sets, most of which I have purchased. My criteria for what makes a good starter set is simple. It must include everything, or almost everything, for two people to play the game. Miniatures, dice, terrain, tokens, a rulebook. I also appreciate a measuring widget, though I'll let that slide as everyone has a ruler, tape measure, or measuring tape to hand, right? If a starter set has a QR code with rules and building instructions, that's not a starter set. So no, doesn't count, get out. Looking at you, War Machine. Now, before we get going, we have to address prices. Wargaming is certainly dipping a toe into the luxury items pool. While Games Workshop is often called out for high pricing, and yes, some of their kits are bafflingly priced, this is generally an expensive hobby, so this must be kept in mind. As such, price isn't factored into this criteria. I'm only looking at a full game in a box. The first two products on this list are certainly classed as low cost to entry though. One last thing in this preamble, I have an affiliate link for Wayland Games. If you use this to buy anything, I will get a small commission. That will then be spent back at Wayland Games buying more things to review for the channel. So please stick around, subscribe, and if you use that link, thank you very much. So to start us off, we have Mutant Year Zero Zone Wars. This comes in at just £50. The box has pre-built coloured plastic minis, proprietary dice, character and equipment cards, tokens including a measuring tool, very cool card terrain, and a decent quality fold-out double-sided playmat. I have a review for it on the channel. The game itself plays quickly, and the game engine is relatively basic with just a few stats to track. It also has a solo mode baked in. You can be playing this minutes after opening the box. In a similar vein, Battletech Alpha Strike. This is around the £70 to £80 mark. Contains pre-built minis, card terrain, stat cards, dice, and various tokens. I'm annoyed at myself for not doing an unboxing of this because this was a great set. This is another set that you just pop open the box and you can be playing after a quick flick through the rulebook. The online community for Battletech is very open and welcoming, and it just seems to be full of people happily discussing giant mechs with no drama. 10 out of 10, I would highly recommend interacting with these folks. And now we're getting into more intermediate than beginner-friendly miniatures games, as the following all require assembly. We're also looking at a jump in price, but just to reiterate, this list is about the contents, not the cost. Star Wars Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol from Atomic Mass Games both deliver a full two-player experience straight out of the box with two full teams or squads, excellent plastic terrain, tokens, proprietary dice, and stat cards. They have both taken off really well locally. Some of the models are needlessly tricky to build, especially the droids from Shatterpoint, and I much prefer the sculpts of the Star Wars models to the usually comic-accurate Crisis Protocol. I've put them together here as they are similar products to one another. Both are very cinematic and only require a handful of minis, but I must stress that the games do play very differently. Shatterpoint looks to be retailing at £150 and Crisis Protocol at £135. Next up, big armies with tiny models. We've recently seen a resurgence of epic scale games, and these are two that really stand out to me. First up is Armoured Clash from Warcradle Studios. This is set in the Dystopian Wars IP. Think of Steam, Diesel Punk, turn of the 20th century sort of thing. The starter set is crazy good value. While I haven't played the game or seen it in the flesh, I have watched some reviews and gameplay videos and I'm very interested in it. The set comes with terrain, two balanced armies, and somewhat unusually enough dice and tokens and widgets for both players to have their own set. It also has two small softcover quick start rules. This is a set you can actually really properly split between two people. It retails at £95 from Wayland Games Direct, but I'm sure it can be found cheaper from third-party retailers. Next up is Epic Warpath from Mantic Games. This was a Kickstarter campaign and I feel a bit for Mantic here. They announced it just as Games Workshop announced Legions Imperialis and then took it to Kickstarter. Then Warcradle announced and released Armoured Clash within that time frame. However, a Mantic Kickstarter is always incredible value for money, and for this they have a pick and mix approach to starter sets. The Lieutenant Pledge, for example, is two plastic starter armies with over 300 miniatures, though they are very tiny, remember, a rulebook, tiny terrain, tokens and proprietary dice for £89. There is a link to the Kickstarter page below, and late pledges are open as at December the 13th, 2024. It's fair to say that from the feedback I've seen from playtesters involved in the rules playtesting, this game is shaping up to be really, really good fun. And now a slight trigger warning, as I'm going to talk positively about a couple of Games Workshop products. Fairly unrun, unfairly criticised for inflated prices, they are the market leader, and these two products are very, very good, and I believe excellent value for money. First up is Kill Team Hivestorm. This is the launch box for the new edition of Kill Team, but it is still widely available as at the date of recording, and it is packed with goodies. 2 full kill teams, dice, full rulebook, heavy cardstock, folding playmat, lots of Ruin City terrain, tokens and dice. The minis are in a lot of parts, but just take your time building them all. Hivestorm is available at Element Games still, using the link below. Now, I don't have an affiliate there, but if you use the referral code LEE135, I get some crystals and you get double crystals. These are the Element Games loyalty reward scheme, and crystals add up and you can use them for money off purchases. And finally, Age of Sigmar, specifically the Skaventide launch box. I'm not suggesting the full Age of Sigmar game here. I'm looking at Spearhead, which is a stripped back, faster to play version of the bigger game, and this is what the contents of this box provides. You get a double-sided heavy cardstock folding playmat, terrain, not much to be fair, cards, a hardback rulebook for Spearhead, Spearhead armies for Stormcast Eternals and Skaven, and you also get the full rulebook for Age of Sigmar 4th edition, and extra miniatures on top of the Spearhead forces. They're somewhat easier to build, but still require some patience. This is £136 from Element Games. There is a cheaper option at £110 that is just the Spearhead stuff, but I'm not sure if that has the good quality playmat, and you get quite a few less miniatures. I do think the Skaventide box provides a better return on investment. There is one drawback though, and this box doesn't come with dice. Again, this is available from Element Games using this link below, and if you use the referral code LEE135, I'll get some reward crystals and you'll get double reward crystals. So, what do you think of this list? Is there anything I have left out? Is there anything that I've maybe not heard of that you'd recommend to people? Please pop it in the comments below. Thank you very much for joining me on this video, and hopefully I will catch you on the next one. Take care, folks. Bye!